Hi everybody, welcome to the Positive Impact Project. I'm Ingrid Kersinger, and today we have with us Melanie, Melanie, I don't want to sound like Melanie, Melanie Comegys.
Melanie Comegys.
I said it right.
Yay. You did.
And I thought my last name was hard. You know, usually I'm the one that's explaining that. So I just want to make sure I said it right. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm really excited to have her on. We're going to be talking a little bit about her work and her life. If you have any questions for her, feel free to type those in and we'll see if we can get some answers for you. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I really am.
Thank you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do right now in your life?
I am a yoga instructor. I do many things, but I am mainly a yoga instructor teacher at this point. I teach classes throughout the day. I teach everything from flow to alignment to restorative to guided meditations to breathing. I teach beginners how to do yoga, and I also teach teacher trainings. I have a teacher training where I teach other teachers how to teach yoga.
Great.
So,
I was hearing about restorative. I actually went to a retreat for restorative yoga, and it's great for. My mom was very overweight at the time, and I always had a little weight on me, and I found that to be like so easy to transition into yoga with, because it's really, you know, it's great for somebody who's not very limber. Do you find that you teach that a lot in Houston?
I do. I teach a lot of people who are not as mobile. I teach. I find that I teach a lot of people who not only just mobility issues, but that are overcoming some type of ailment. And I get a lot of those people come to me, and I'm really surprised on a daily basis how many people are coming to me with injuries. Yeah,
because I was thinking there's a lot of people who are kind of afraid of yoga because they're like, well, I'm not very limber, and it's important that they know there's restorative yoga, which is a great way to get into it. You become more limber, and then you can do the more advanced classes. So
yes,
it's great that you teach that, because I don't see it very often.
I love restorative yoga. I love teaching restorative yoga. I think it's very calming, and I think it does ease tense yogis, people who are new to yoga and they want to take it easy. I think it's very calming and very serene for them to find that as an entry point into yoga. So yeah.
Great. And so tell us a little bit about what got you into this. Did you just kind of one day, hey, I want to be a yoga instructor?
Well, in 1999, there was a friend of mine that we used to take dance classes together, and there was a program at that time, because we didn't have the internet, or the internet was just now coming out. I think internet started in 1996. Yeah. So in about 1999, the internet was still new. Not everybody had a home computer and was on the internet.
Shocking.
So I know, right? Can you imagine? So there are these magazines that you would go pick up from the grocery store, and they were called Leisure Learning. And in Leisure Learning, they would have all sorts of classes that you could take, from learning how to sew to learning how to bake,
I remember that.
Learning how to act, to take photography. Well, we would go through all of the dance classes, and we would go take dance classes together. And we had pretty much done it all. We had done all the dance classes, and there was really nothing left. And we were nothing was coming up for that particular time that we wanted to begin. It was in September of 1999. I'll never forget it. And there was a yoga class available, and yoga was just now starting to kind of get really, really popular because of some of the pop stars and movie stars at that time. It was kind of in the media that these were things that they were practicing. So we were like, let's try it. So I did, and unfortunately my friend didn't get to take those classes with me. I ended up going it alone, because I signed up for it, I paid for it, and then it just ended up being this journey. Wow. And I really felt, I'll never forget that. I will never forget the first day. I will never forget that very first yoga experience. It was really good. You know, everybody was singing and chanting. I think they had ringers in the class to kind of help things move along a little bit, but I think that they had other teachers who were training to be teachers, and they were singing and they were chanting, and there was this lady playing a gong, and There was incense burning, and I was like, I found my people.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm in.
Great.
I'm down for this.
Sounds like just a great setting too.
It was. It really was.
And is that here in Houston?
It was. It was here in Houston. Great. It was at a little place off of Greenbrier in Shepherd area, and it no longer exists. So, okay. But yeah, I stuck with it for about 6 months, and then after that, every now and then I would meet someone who had gone through the rigors of their teacher training program, and I would end up, taking a couple of classes from these people here, there, and everywhere. And then I moved out to Pearland in, let's see, what was that? 2005 I moved out into Pearland, and I was looking for yoga classes, and I found a little yoga place, and they just happened to be practicing alignment yoga, the same as all the other yoga that I had been taking. So I had no idea that there were other forms of yoga out there. I thought there was only one kind, and this was the kind, and this was the kind that I liked, and yeah, and so I just kind of grew up in alignment-based yoga.
That's awesome. And now you teach it.
I teach alignment-based yoga. That is my favorite kind of yoga.
So what exactly is alignment-based yoga?
Alignment-based yoga is based off of Iyengar style of yoga. Alignment-based yoga is moving with somewhat of precision per what each person's capabilities are. So each person has different set of capabilities or range of motion that they're able to do. So alignment-based yoga is, for me, my interpretation of alignment-based yoga is, these just very crisp, straight lines and very structured, and really taking your time with poses and opening up all the different body parts to get into one specific pose. I do like alignment-based yoga, but I also love flow.
So what is flow yoga?
Flow is more of a dancing. I would liken it to dancing, because I think that that's what really kind of drew me in to yoga practice, was the stretching and the movement and the linking of one pose to the next, and the transitions in between those poses. It reminded me of being in dance classes when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. So flow is just taking various different poses, you're linking them together, and the links in between the poses can be very creative and very flowy.
I love that. I love to, when you're able to express yourself, or you have it making something that's active like that into an art form. So it's really about all the levels, right? Mind, body, spirit. So I love that. So tell us what you do right now. You teach these things. You teach the yoga teacher training. Where can they find you? Your website, a location?
My website is www.techsunyoga.com. You can also find me on Facebook under techsunyogaschool.com. That's how you can find me. I have all of my public classes listed online on my website, so you can, if you'd like to take one of my classes, there's various places that I teach throughout the city of Houston, but I also have a little space that I'm renting right now. I kind of move around a lot, so I'm renting a small space right now, more like a sublet, where I'm offering a couple of public classes. And I only have 2 more public classes under Texan Yoga School that are happening this weekend, and then I'm not going to be teaching any of those classes for a while, just because I'm kind of in between looking for some spaces. But those 2 public classes is, I'm doing a Chandra Namaskar, Chandra the moon, Namaskar salutation. So a moon salutation or a moon flow with a guided meditation. And it's a 2-hour workshop. It's happening this Saturday at 3:30 to 5:30. And when people hear 2-hour yoga workshop, they think they're going to be moving the entirety of the time, and that's not what's going to happen. For about 30 minutes, I'll tell the story of Chandra, the moon. So I'll be speaking with the Hindu mythology in regards to that specific pose. And then about 30 minutes of body movement, so it will be a flow linking poses together for very specific poses that makes up the moon salutation, the Chandra Namaskar.
Right.
And then there's going to be a 45-minute guided meditation,
Wow.
and it's a guided moon meditation where I kind of take you to the moon and back. So it's one of those types of things. And then I do like a 15-minute Q&A, let everyone get their bearings before, everyone gets up and leaves. So it's very relaxing, very intuitive, and a whole lot of fun. And then the next one I'm going to do is a 2-hour restorative on Sunday from 3:30 to 5:30. And that's just basically being propped up with pillows, blocks, and blankets and bolsters, and you just kind of lay in different positions for about 2 hours. And really you're doing a lot of laying around and listening to music and the sound of your own breath, and perfect for this planetary.
Wonderful.
I know it's perfect for the planetary alignment that we're having right now as well. So deep into the Pisces, and being open to those energies right now. So
yeah, that sounds wonderful. So that's going on this weekend. If you guys want to check her out on her website, and also tell us a little bit about what you have a vision for yourself in the future. Do you have something already in the works, or do you have kind of a plan for yourself?
I have another teacher training that's coming up in July that I'm planning. That is my forte, is teaching other teachers how to be teachers. I was a corporate trainer for about 17 years, where I actually trained other people how to do their job. So I just put the two together. Here I am teaching other people not only how to do their job, but I'm also now training others how to train others, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to be everywhere at once. So I learned how to teach people how to teach other people. Mm-hmm. And I just put that with the yoga, and I think that I don't think that there's any other yoga place in the city of Houston that I'm aware of that has someone trained specifically in how to train other people, if that makes sense.
That's
so what
great.
I do makes it very different from what other people do. I would say going along with the alignment-based yoga, what I do is very structured and very organized, and I think that there's a lot of people out there that are looking for that structure and organization.
I think that really sets a good teacher apart. Somebody who's organized and has their curriculum down. And a lot of us in the metaphysical and also the wellness fields, it's so fairly new that you never quite know what you're going to get. When you go to a class, if this person's kind of new at it, or if they've been doing it for 20 years. So it's really great to know you really have your structure down, and you know what you're doing. So it's really important, I think. And also, I really think that we need more training for people to better lead. Because I do think that we need better leaders, and not just talking politically, but just in every arena. I feel like it's really important that even the leaders have guides, have support. And I was thinking how my mother went through a counseling program. She said every counselor has a counselor. When you're working in that field, you have to have somebody supporting you. And I was thinking we don't really have that so much in the metaphysical field. We don't really go through training and then still have somebody that we can talk to. And I think it's just really important that teachers have somebody, not just to teach them, but that they know is supporting them and helping them.
Yes, that is very important. I still have teachers that I go to. There are 2 teachers out San Marcos, Austin area that I go to, and especially for inspiration, because sometimes us teachers need to be inspired so we can inspire others. Mm-hmm. And then there are 3 teachers here and around the city of Houston that I go to specifically when I have time to go to them. So so I have my own teachers that I go to where I draw inspiration from, and I may not be doing what they're providing, but something that they're offering in their classes will spark something inside of me that's like, I can do this, or this is what I can show people. I think that it's important for people when they are looking for teachers that there's a couple of things that they're looking for. And one of the things that I found that happens most often in yoga is people do get really, really frustrated when they go to a teacher and it's not what they expected, or it's not something that they enjoyed, or they didn't click with the teacher. My advice to those people is just keep looking. You will find someone that you like eventually. And you may not necessarily like alignment-based yoga, but keep looking, keep finding different ways that you can incorporate yoga into your life if that's something that you are really wanting to do. So go and don't give up on the first teacher that you find. Look for someone who's really going to speak to you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Because if it is a intense physical practice that you're not able to keep up with, maybe that's not the teacher for you, and you need to do a little bit of research and use a little bit of discernment to go find someone who's going to be able to better give you what you need for your range of motion or mobility issues that you're having. And same with mental and spiritual aspects. You know, some people go to a teacher and they're looking for that spiritual inspiration. And if you're not getting it out of that particular class, don't chalk it all up as, this is all yoga and I'm not finding what I'm looking for. I think it really is the particular teacher that you are in search of. So you have to just kind of keep searching and searching and searching. I've had students come to me who've been in yoga classes for 5 or 6 years, and then they find me, they stumble onto me by accident. And they're like, I never knew yoga could be like this. Where have you been? I didn't know that it could be like this. So yeah, it is great that I'm able to be there and provide a type of yoga that not everyone else is offering in regular yoga classes and throughout the city of Houston. So I do enjoy that. But yeah, even though alignment yoga may not be for you, just keep looking for yoga teachers until you find the person that speaks to you. I think that that's my message for everyone.
Great. So is there any kind of advice or tip that you can give our audience, maybe someone who's interested in starting yoga for the first time? Like, what would be like a very simple thing for them to do to get started with that?
That is a good question. You want to find a teacher who is offering a beginner's yoga class. Mm-hmm. And things that you want to look for in a beginner's yoga class, as a new person to yoga, you won't know the terms, you won't have the terminology or have a way to articulate with the languaging that's being used in yoga classes. But what you're looking for is you're looking for basic, simple poses. You're looking for a teacher who's really going to take their time in teaching you and have the patience to teach you, and not just up in front of the room showing off. Oftentimes, some of those yoga classes become about the teacher and the acrobatics that they're able to perform, which it's supposed to be about the student and teaching students and showing people and guiding people into how to do certain poses to help keep themselves safe, and how to do certain poses per their range of motion and per their personal capabilities. So I definitely want to try to find a beginner's yoga class that's going to go over some basics such as basic poses, basic breathing exercises, basic meditation exercises, and maybe just like a little brief history of what yoga is and how people have been incorporating it into their lives. So that's really what you're looking for. Oftentimes people do find what's labeled as beginner yoga classes, and they get a highly experienced teacher who hasn't been a beginner in a very long time. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for them to relate to beginners. Sometimes those advanced seasoned practitioners, it is difficult for them to relate to beginners. Mm-hmm. So you want to find someone who is going to be very open to beginners and what beginners' needs are, because beginners' needs are very different from what an advanced practitioner's needs are. So yeah.
I remember taking one yoga class where I was trying so hard to do the poses, and the teacher would come around and kind of, touch people and kind of help them into the pose, but would kind of push me, and I'm like, I can't move that way, and I felt like this is too advanced, and it made me give up that class. And I'm thinking, yeah, you definitely have to look for somebody who knows, hey, just leave me alone. I'm trying. You know.
Yes, and I think you know what I think that is also intuition, which is more of your forte than mine. But I think that after a long period of time, if you've been teaching for long enough and you do have those intuitive abilities, you can look at someone and you know when they're begging to have you come and adjust them, and you also know when a verbal adjustment, just giving a verbal cue of how someone could move deeper into the pose, when that's appropriate. So that's another thing that you want to look for when you're looking for a yoga teacher, is you want to look for someone who's not going to force you into something that you're not capable of achieving. You want to look for someone who's going to give you the gentle guidance that you need, that's going to slowly coax you deeper into what you're able to achieve in that point in time. So,
well, you know, it's fun. My kids will actually do yoga together. I mean, they've seen things, you know, and we've also done some at home where they'll take turns saying, well, I'm going to make up a yoga pose, and we'll all do whatever pose they have, and they come up with some really creative things. So it's really fun to do as a family, and it's great just to have that exposure, so that one day they might actually, you know, go to a serious class, but for now they can just see yoga as something fun. I think that might be good for people to do with their kids, you know, just kind of open that door for them.
People often make up poses. I think that there's a lot of creativity and a lot of room in yoga for making stuff up. So yeah, that can be a lot of fun. So yeah,
that's art in motion.
Art in motion, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I'm really glad. I know the audience really, everybody loves yoga, whether or not they do it. We know about it. We want to know more. We all think about it. We all think we should really take a yoga class. Whether or not we take that first step or not, it might not be the right timing. But I think it's really wonderful to learn more about it and to have somebody share, you know, a little bit more about what it's like. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Again, if anybody has any questions moving forward, we would love to hear from you. So you can send those in as a message or just comment here, and we'll get back to you. Courtney, thank you. Great interview. Oh, that's so nice. Thanks for your comments, everybody, and we hope to see you again soon.
Bye
for
thank
now.
you. Bye.
Bye.